Welcome to Curly Hair Q&A. This is the Thursday weekly show where we do interviews and Q&A with other industry experts besides ourselves, like we do our Mondays with Melanie show. And this is show number 2.
Wow.
Show number 2.
Number 2.
And we've got a special guest this week. And it's Miss Jessica McGuinty, the founder of Jessicurl products. And
yay, I'm so excited to have Jess on the show.
and she's with us. We've been excited about this. We've been putting it together for quite some time. But I'm going to start this show off with a bit of a story.
Oh.
And then and then we're gonna go from there. I know you guys are gonna like it, and that's because we talked about the concept of this show of doing this was for people to really get behind the scenes looks at what it really is like in the curl industry from all different aspects, from manufacturers to influencers to behind the chair stylists and whatnot, and that's what we really wanted to do. So I wanted to, I was going to start with a story, and I'm going to tell you guys the story about how the three of us met, because it's a very common. I know you guys aren't as big in the digital media world as I am, but I see lots and lots. I'm in there all day, every day, and I see lots and lots of conversations where people, they really think they know us. And I understand with us because we do so many shows, and we started this show originally, Jess, I don't know if you know, but we originally started this and we did it live in our kitchen at our house. Like at dinner time. Yeah. I mean, that's how we did it, so people were really, they got to really see how we lived, and whatever. But I always see comments about it, and I don't really respond, but the vast majority of people really believe that all of us who are different brands or different styles, where they really believe that we all hate each other.
Super hate each other.
They super hate each other.
So.
Yes, even the dogs think so. Yeah, they really.
Look at our hair looks like twins. We're like twins.
Right? Yeah, we super hate each other.
They really believe that we super hate each other and we're all trying to destroy each other. So I'm going to tell you a story.
Yeah, this is a good story.
And this is a good story. And they always believe that. They make assumptions from what they see of who they think we all really are,
or just anywhere out of the ether, right?
Anywhere out of the ether, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell a story, and Jess, if anything that I say in this story is untrue, you point it out. But I know it's not. Yeah. I think this is going to burst the bubble for a lot of people. This is going to burst the bubble for a lot of people, and for a lot of people, they're going to be like, yeah, I could.
You did what?
I could tell. So here's how we met. So for those of you who don't know who Michelle Breyer is the founder of naturallycurly.com and Texture Media. She's one of the top 10 curl and texture hair influencers in the world, and she called a bunch of us up a couple of years back and said, hey, it's got to be 2 years at least, hey?
Yeah.
Got to be.
Yeah, because last year we were going to
right. Michelle called a bunch of us up and said, hey, I'm going to get a whole bunch of floor space in Chicago, Illinois, at America's Beauty Show. It's one of the biggest hair professional industry shows in the country. And she said, I want to make an area that's just a texture area. She called it the Texture Forum. And she said, I'm going to sell you guys space in this at a really decent price. And it was a really decent price.
Way better than a normal.
It was way better than we could have done on our own, right?
Yes.
And she said,
as the ships rise with the tide.
And and that's how this story is going to go. And I said, yeah, I'm in. So she got this big area of show floor. And what she did is she sold all these spots around the perimeter of this area for all these different manufacturers. All the big players are there. And in the middle is a stage. A big stage with a seating area and whatever, and a PA system and the whole ball of wax. And this is our deal. So we get there typically how these big trade shows go. And I want to say 60,000 people show up to that thing. And which is a lot in the
it's not more, eh? Like it was like.
Had you ever done other hair trade shows before that?
Yeah, we actually did that one before because several years earlier, Michelle did the same thing. So it was the same thing, but with other people, like without you guys. And we've done a couple other ones, but like the World Natural Hair Show in Atlanta.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, that's also that year that we went
That's
there.
a big
It's on
one.
the side, but the fire marshal shut it down. There were so many.
I remember hearing that. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well,
So yeah, so it wasn't like my first time.
with
But yeah,
her-
it was
on her
very,
deal?
it was busy.
Yeah, we've done a lot of the biggest trade shows
Yeah.
with our brand, but we never did this, and it was a great idea. I was all for it.
Excuse
So-
them.
That's okay.
Sorry.
We've got kids too.
I know you do. Yeah.
Like I said, all the big players are there, show up, and we get there the day before the show to set up, and everybody's setting up, and I can just feel you can cut the tension with a knife because everybody's there. Everybody's eyeballing everybody. Everybody feels like this guy is, he's
we're all supposed to
to
be competition.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody's playing like we're all this competition, and I can just feel it. And I'm walking around this area, and for those of you who know me, obviously I know a lot of you guys know who I'm very, very open. I don't play that game. I don't play that horse crap game. I don't.
Me either.
Like,
if you know me,
yes,
like super
and I'm like,
rude and intimidating.
Right, and I'm stopping this, right?
Yeah.
So our booth is in the corner, and I'm getting it done. And like I said, I'm walking around, and I can see this, and I'm like, I am not going to spend the next 3 days like this because I know that our segment, the curly textured hair part of the market, I know it's the growing thing. I know we all have to work together, and if we do, we're all going to win, right? And I know this, and I'm just sitting there thinking this, and I'm watching. I see Jessica 2 booths over, and she's there with another woman. They're setting up their booth, and I can see they're kind of struggling. Jessica's up on a ladder, and I walk over there. You remember this, Jessica? You remember this? I walk over there. She's got her back to me. She's up on a ladder, and I walk over to her. I said, do you need any help? I'd be more than happy to help you. And she kind of turns around and looks at me, and I can see her look at me with this questioning look. Look over at my booth and like, why are you? Why? And you're like, yeah. And you kind of look back at me, and then I think it kind of clicked, and you're like,
all right, like,
yeah, I could use some help.
Sure,
right?
Yeah. Just don't push the ladder out.
Right. I walked over there, and I helped. Right. Like, what's your intention or whatever? You're going to look through all my stuff or whatever. And I helped. I got her all set up, and it didn't take very long. And I believe we had a very short conversation, and I said, hey, this is a place where the tide's is gonna lift all the boats. I said, we're all gonna play together. And what's funny about that whole situation is there were everybody else from the other companies that were in that U-shaped area who were setting up saw this happen, saw me do this, and it changed everything. Do you remember that? It changed.
And some people
everything.
like got made better friendships than others.
Yes.
And, that's cool. But are you gonna go further with this story and where it really ended up?
I'm gonna go.
I think that's where people are more surprised.
Yes, I'm gonna go further with the story. So it worked out really well.
And started interviewing people.
Yeah, so what I did is I went and I went to every booth, and I talked to them, and I got virtually almost all of them comfortable. And it was really kind of neat because there were a couple people in that area that we already knew, obviously.
Yeah, we were friendly.
Right.
Yeah, we were friendly with, but there were
I had
other
never
people
met Jess. I had never even talked to her.
Yeah, I hadn't either. But there were other people that I did.
Of her.
And like I said, I could tell, it just completely changed the countenance of virtually everybody there, and all of us being competitors. And I went, introduced myself and talked to everybody. And I met people that are pretty high up players in this game.
Right.
That I still. What's his name? Ken from Beautiful. He gave me his personal cell number and said, I never give anyone my personal cell number.
So nice.
Call me for anything.
So nice.
So nice.
Yeah.
Everybody was. So that worked out really well. And it kind of just went from there. So the show starts the next day. And I know this surprised you and pretty much everybody else there. But what I did was, and it's a big show floor. So what I did is I went to every booth. Do you remember this? And I went and I said, give me your brochures.
Right.
And
you had them all. Yeah.
I got everybody's brochures from that area. All my competitors. And they're like, what do you want the brochures for?
Right. And you're just going to throw them in the garbage.
Right. Because I'm going to go walk the show floor, and I'm going to hand them out so people get over here. Right. And I did. Yeah. And I handed out everybody's. And it, and I know that whole weekend really kind of changed things. And if you remember, it drew people over, and it did really well. I made sure that stage had somebody on it at all time. Okay, somebody on it at all times.
Should I
go
on?
Yes.
So the next day. Okay.
I was going to say, who ended up on that stage?
So I bring 2 stylists to the show. I bring Melanie, and I bring Julie, who's another stylist of ours.
She's so cool. I loved her. Yeah, she was awesome.
And
her hair is awesome.
We're gonna put our girls on the stage, and as much as we can over 2 days,
and do haircuts.
We're gonna do haircuts and stuff. So we're trying to keep
the stage was for stylists to get up there and do hair cutting and education for the other stylists.
Right.
So that was the whole point of it. And we were supposed to have allotted times on the stage, but
right.
There was also classroom, remember, and that wasn't going so well.
Yeah. It was not going.
Yeah.
No.
So, and I was actually upset because we weren't given our classroom time.
We
so
paid
extra. It was really far
away.
Like nobody knew where it was. That was unfortunate.
So I said,
but then
we're gonna do it on this. We're gonna do it on the stage.
Well,
where the people are.
Cristo did. Yeah.
Cristo came back and said, the classroom's dead, and we should just concentrate on the stage. So we all were taking turns just getting up there, and whoever could grab a model and get up there, just keep the education going.
Right. So Melanie ran out of models.
Damn. I hate it when you run out of models, Melanie.
Melanie ran out of models.
That wasn't it.
Thought,
you asked Jessica needed a haircut.
Right. So I went
it was
over that's why.
So
I went over by Jessica and I said, so do you need a haircut? And she's like,
well, it was kind of, I like to, so it was a little reverse, from my perspective, it was a little reverse. Like I actually, so this kind of harkens back to where like all of us curly haired people have this collective story, and it still goes on even once you love your hair. Because I saw a picture we took a picture, my friend Charlie, who was with me.
Yeah.
And I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, I looked so horrible because I was so tired and my hair was so long.
Flew across
draggy.
The country. Yeah.
Yeah, you know how you are at a trade show, and like my hair had gotten so long, and it just drags you down, kind of like it is now. And I was like, oh my God, like I need a haircut so bad. Well, geez, good thing I'm at a hair show, and then it also coincided with Melanie running out of models, and so it was perfect timing.
Perfect.
And less. Hesitate to make this pun, maybe brave person.
Oh, get it, brave. Funny.
May not want her, quote, competitor to come at her head with a pair of scissors.
Right.
But I was like, whatever, dude. Like, I'm sure you're going to... Yeah. I didn't have a moment of hesitation at all. I thought it was a great way to kind of prove your point that, like, we are all in it together. I thought it would just be great for everything, and
it did great.
You know, it looked awesome.
Did it live. I did a Facebook Live video of the whole thing, and thousands and thousands and thousands of people watched it. And I just watched the comments, and they were like, "Oh my God,
had so much fun.
Can't believe she's actually doing that." I'm
like,
they were just completely taken aback that this was happening.
Jessica's not a hairdresser, so
I'm not. Right. So I wouldn't be cutting anybody's hair. And and I will also say, I'm hesitant to say this, but like, there's other probably people that we would maybe consider competitors that I might not like have come here. I don't know who it would be. I'm not saying who it would be. That was just like,
I get it.
But I just felt comfortable, and it was just not in its face.
Yeah.
So so that blows that whole theory out of the water that we're all like,
we're all right. And like I said, just watching those comments while I filmed it live, I'm like, this is going to change so many people's perspective. And it did. It really did.
Yeah.
Well, it was. But then it went bad. Do you remember that?
Good because we thought this would be really awesome because for me it can showcase my work. For Jess, she can showcase her product. So, we can both be up on stage.
And that's what we did.
I don't feel it went. When did it go bad?
Oh, don't you remember?
You were worried about my scissors coming at you, man. Your hair is like a weapon.
Don't you remember? She got cut. It started bleeding. Don't you remember that?
Her hair sliced my finger.
That's right.
Her hair
sliced cut Melanie's finger.
And I'm filming this live. Like I said, thousands of people are watching this, and Melanie's like, I'm bleeding.
I completely forgot that. my apologies are reactivated now.
Right. And Jess is like, I'm sorry. She's like, oh, it's okay.
It's like, seriously, like, how did that even, you little jerks?
I don't know how that.
I don't know how. I've never heard of that before or since.
Have you ever had that happen before? Was that the first time or last time that you've got your
hand cut?
By someone's hair?
I think I've had it happen once, but it's not a common practice. Usually we
leave it to me.
Yeah, it's just Jess's hair, man.
Right.
It's so thick. Yeah, like literally, like the individual. Yeah, I forgot that part.
Right.
Yes, it did.
Right. Yeah, and another thing that I that I thought really interesting about that weekend was, and another thing that I did, if you remember this, is I went around to all the competitors, and I did on my Facebook Live on my group stuff, and I went to all my competitors and interviewed them.
Yeah,
and let them talk, and I'm like and people are looking at me like, you're doing that on your page. And I'm like, yes. I'm like, you guys got to understand. I mean, if we all win, if one of us wins, all of us win. It's yes, I'm going to do this. And
it's all different.
I met some people, those Mazzani people were like the greatest people to me ever. They're like, if you're ever in Atlanta and need a place to stay, look at something. And I'm like,
that's so nice.
Because they were caught so off guard that the fact that I would do it.
That's when we also became really good friends with Chadwick from Weedad.
From Weedad, the guy who
that's nice.
And we're still friends, and we've talked about bringing him on the show, and
which we probably will in a week or two.
And Cristo, we've been friends with for a while. Yeah, he's always very, very cordial and very nice
and open. Yeah.
There just is no egos going there.
Yeah, because it's all different.
It's
all a different angle.
Right.
And people like to cocktail. I mean, people who are obsessed with their hair are gonna try different things.
Yep, that's it. And it was really, really interesting. And I think it really changed a lot of people's ideas of, how things really, really are in this, in this industry. And we're not all trying to kill each other. We all know I'm going to get mine.
Except for me trying to kill Melanie with my hair.
Right. Other than that.
Alternative motive.
Right. Ulterior motive. Right. But yeah.
How creative I got with that.
We're all going to get ours. And that's,
there's room for everybody. It's so huge.
So let's talk about her product.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about we'll talk about that. But I wanted, I thought it was important that we do this because I really want to change the perspective of how things really are and who we really are as people. So
even with the hair cutting, it's like all these different really experienced stylists, and everyone does a little bit different of a technique, and everyone's models, their hair looked awesome. So, it just kind of, blows things, opinions out of the water that it's just one way or another way.
For sure.
It's like everybody up there on stage did a great job. And
everybody's hair is different.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You can't expect there's no one curly hair cutting method that's going to work for every single person.
Yeah.
So somebody's hair that's way thicker and curlier than mine, the way that you would cut that wouldn't be the same as the way that you'd cut mine.
That's
right. And there's so many different techniques, and they're all doing great work. I have a picture. I got to dig it up. It's on my phone before I get rid of it because I'm getting a new phone. But I have a picture that's a great picture that I know sometime down the line, it's going to be really neat to show. But I have a picture of Melanie, Sherry Harbinger, one of the Jessicurl founders, Cristo from Cristo, and Chadwick, who runs the Weedad flagship salon. All four of them standing kind of in a group area, watching somebody else on the stage cut curly hair. And I'm like, there, I'm like, that shows you all four of those people that I just mentioned all do
competition.
And they all do different techniques. All their techniques are different than the others. But it just, to me, I was like, this is such a powerful picture because it's, because you see so many people, you can only do dry cutting, you can only do wet cutting, you can only do curl by curl, this and that, whatever. Yet you're watching four of the biggest players in the game. Watching somebody else do some other techniques, and all of them are like completely focused because they're all learning.
I don't think I've ever seen a picture.
That's
that
a great
would be cool.
picture.
Yeah.
It's a
I still only want dry cuts though.
Well, whatever. I mean, but it's not the point. The point is that
too bouncy.
Is that it? it's just interesting. So, all right. So, so Jessica, so tell everybody, for those of you who don't know, tell us how this, get from the beginning. Tell us how this company started. Tell us when. Give us all the deets,
I'll
man.
try to be brief.
How did it all go?
Never my strong suit.
You don't have to, oh, you think I am?
Oh God, between you and Ken.
Oh, I never said you were.
I'm never brief. No, but tell us. We don't have to be. This is our fun show.
Yeah.
You know.
No, it's cool. It's been 16 years, first of all, which is
God.
crazy because I used to be introduced when I do public speaking as a young entrepreneur, and then it was and then it was young-ish, and now it's entrepreneur.
Yeah. Melanie still wants to know why she's not winning the 30 under 30.
Thanks a lot. I went into the first one, like the ish part is when I really got offended. Like, just drop the ish.
We had to release anti-aging skincare, for God's sake.
For us,
I'll be one of your testers if you need.
Well, we'll put you on it.
I was as an aside, I was at the dermatologist for something completely unrelated, and she tried to pump me with all the stuff, and I was like, I'm not here for that. But so it was 16 years ago, and so you can do the math. It was a long time ago. Yeah. And it really goes back to how mean people were in high school about my hair. Because
were you bullied?
It was horizontal though, so I can't say that they were wrong to make fun of me, because kids are mean, and
they are mean. Yeah.
They're gonna do, they're gonna point something out. But I had gotten this really bad haircut the summer before freshman year, and so it literally did. It grew out, before it grew down, and so it really was obvious. And so they called me mushroom head and Brillo pad and chia pet. And so I would wet it down, because you have to survive. And so I'd wet it down in between classes because it takes up less space on the planet when it's wet. Right. And then it was always wet. And who has wet hair at 2 p.m, eh? And so then they started calling me Crunchy and Helmet Head and Crusty.
Oh no.
Come on, man. I was just trying to get through the day. And so it created this really strong obsession and hatred of my hair that lasted. I love it now, but I'm not going to claim to not be obsessed with it. Right. And so eventually I was I've got to figure out how to get along with this thing up here, because it hopefully will not go away anytime soon. I didn't want to not have it. I just wanted to get along with it. Sure. And so
what kind of products were you using back then? Do you remember?
Oh God. Well,
dippity do.
Right? The problem was my dad has had this great big afro, which was great, but he lived in Canada. Can you tell I'm Canadian? How many if you turned how many times I say into a drinking game, you'd be so drunk by now. But he had this big afro, but he lived in Canada. So he was awesome, but he couldn't really help me. And my mom called me Cousin It and stuff.
Your mom did.
Yeah, right. Wow, and so she would say go brush your hair.
That'll make it better.
That was the worst. So I would cut off the legs off a pair of nylons and and wear it on my head when I slept. Oh my God. I called it my cap.
I hope you didn't wear it when you went to the bank.
What did you call it?
My cap.
Your cap.
And now it's a do-rag. They make them.
Yeah,
I make it myself. So I'd wake up with this
You're a hipster.
I know. I was 14. It was just resourceful. But I would wake up with this red indentation on my forehead. And somehow, because it would flatten it out, somehow that was better than the puff. And so I don't know. I did the round brush with the hairdryer.
Oh, God.
That was the products and hairspray, because it was the early 90s. I had no direction, and then I found my way to a pair of thinning shears.
Oh, fabulous.
Oh, God. Yeah, I was explaining that to my boyfriend last night. Dude, no.
That's for the Halloween horror stories.
Oh yeah, that's our next Monday show, Halloween horror stories.
Nobody should ever have those, but definitely not a 14-year-old girl with no direction, because I have pictures where you can see through my hair.
Oh.
Right? Because it cuts every other hair, and so I did it every 2 weeks, thinking I was
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was just bad. And so somewhere along 2001 or so, I was okay, something has got to give. And I Googled curly hair, and I found naturallycurly.com. So as you had mentioned, Michelle Breyer earlier. And so this was great because it was like, that was when they were brand new and they were just a message board for people with curly hair. And so it was like all these people just sit around and talk about curly hair. I'm not the only one that has had this obsession. That's phenomenal. Wow. And so we all sat around and talked about it. And of course, all they talk about are products primarily. And I bought all these products that all these strangers recommended and they didn't still work anyway. But then I got interested and I was always into making things, little potions and such. And I made this flaxseed hair gel for myself. And it was amazing. Like I finally, if my hair would have ever looked like that, maybe any boy would have ever liked me in high school. Maybe, kind of. Yeah. And it wasn't even horizontal.
Wow.
Like, holy, right? Like who knew that your hair didn't have to be horizontal? Because I still had it short. Oh. So I went back to the website and I was like, oh my God, you guys, here's the recipe for this crazy, weird flaxseed goop I just made on my stove. So this was 2002 at that point. Yeah. And they were like, no, I got like 30 emails in like 24 hours. And they said, no, I'm not making that. I'm not doing that. Can't I just buy it from you?
Right.
Like, yeah, I guess so. And so it was just that easy to just go, all right. And so like in those early days, you know, I made the stuff and printed out the labels on my computer and the ink ran off in the shower and people bought it anyway.
We went through that too.
So right. And you know, and it's like, you know, it's because it worked.
Did you have that? The bottles collapsing too and all that crap?
Oh, yeah, because you bottled it too warm. And, and of course now, you know, for a long time since we've had a factory and but we still do our own production. And that is one thing that is, you know, I'm not saying it's better or not better. It's just different than a lot of our competitors. You know, we do our own production. So it is, again, it's not better or worse.
You mean those white labeling people? We don't have to go down that road.
But. No, I don't even know who you mean. It's just different. And like, there's a good and a bad to everything. And some days, like, I feel so bad for my staff because I'm like, you know, I know it would be easier for all of you if you could just place an order for our products like everybody else gets to. But then also, you know, like we have control over it and then we can, you know, we can make more of this one week when we get a big order for that and whatever. But so we created our factory in 2004. So it's been a very long time since it was on my stove. Wow. But like, you know, the staff that we have now, like they are amazing. Like I am so thankful and they are just amazing, but they have no idea what it was like to do it on the stove and like use a funnel, you know, and like use a little strainer to strain the rock and ringlets and, you know, and that's cool. Like they, you know, they weren't around for that, but like, it's just so crazy to think about the very, very huge, wide difference between that and like somebody in Sweden woke up this morning and used my products, right?
I know,
like,
isn't that crazy? I know.
Yeah, you're international now. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, and we have them for a long time.
Yeah, how many are in now?
That's a really, really good question. I'm not even. It changes all the time, right?
Yeah,
it's crazy to not know that, like, because it's changing all the time, and we have several distributors in Europe, and we're huge in Sweden. Like, what? Wow. Yeah. It's so cool. Yeah, and England, and like I have it's an aside little awesome anecdote story, but I have a cousin, one of my Canadian cousins, who's an extremely talented performing artist. She was in the Cirque du Soleil for several years. Wow. And very cool. Yeah, like that good. And she was in London visiting a friend and she went to use the shower and she came out and she's like, how come you know about this? Right. And she was like, just because it's the best curly hair products ever. And she's like, that's my cousin.
Oh my
like,
God.
So that was like the coolest.
So cool.
Yeah. It's just small world. That's all. It's the internet. If it weren't for the internet, like, you know, if it weren't for the internet, none of us would be here.
I agree.
You know, like how would anybody know about my weird little flaxseed stuff?
That's the thing.
But like you're saying, so you're still shipping from the United States. You don't have manufacturing plants in other areas, right?
Correct.
Shipping out of the States.
We do not. Our manufacturing plant is in Arcata, California.
Cool.
And that's the only one we have. And Yeah, everything takes place there. Labeling, bottling, production, everything. Except for I live in Southern California. It's a long story.
Yeah, so how is it? Yeah, you're living in SoCal now for about a month or so. How are you liking it?
2 months or so. Yeah. It's funny because I don't know if you guys know that there's like this sort of Northern California, Southern California.
I do. I do. Yes, I do. That's why I asked. How is it?
So I'm more surprised than anybody because I was raised in Northern California. Wow, is it ever nice to see the sun every single day? Every single day. I didn't even know.
Yeah, welcome to South Florida. Same thing here.
I know.
Every day.
It's so cool.
Every day.
It's so cool. And so, and we're an hour from LA. And so that's just going to be so great for Jessicurl to be that close to all those salons. And there's so much activity down here. So yeah, I'm just still like, what? The sun every day you look out, it's still there.
Right.
Awesome.
I promise not to take that for granted because I love where I used to live, but it's on the coast in the redwood trees, which is stunning and gorgeous. And foggy. So you trade, there's every kind of beauty has its place and you trade something.
Yeah.
So I like sunshine.
Good. You want to
so that's the story in a nutshell. Yeah.
Cool. You want to get into some questions? Some questions from our watchers and listeners. Because we're on podcast and on video. I'm going to try to paraphrase a couple of these. Well, here, let's start with this one. No questions, but I do want to tell Jessica McGuinty how much I appreciate her. I lived in Eureka, California when she was just starting out, and I met her at an event she did to help people with their curls. I tried her products and have been using them ever since, and that was over 12 years ago.
Oh, that's so cool.
I am still not comfortable with my curls, but her products and her willingness to help other curlies have been invaluable. Thank you, Jessica. Isn't that nice?
Well, yes, that's so cool. I'm glad you still I'm glad you still use the products. Yes. I would love to continue to try to help you your curls, but I understand it's an ongoing.
That's Stacy. That's a good one to start with.
Wow.
We all have our days. I'm still, I'm like, today you're so. I need a haircut.
Hey, I know a girl.
Yeah, I know. It's like
I know a salon full of girls.
I love how long it is, and then it's like it's so long.
I know it catches on everything. I was doing that today. Like every bag I lifted, and my hair is stuck in it, and you're going. Oh.
Well, I keep making jokes because I know you will. So many of you will relate to this. If I ever write a book, it's going to be called "What the Bleep Is in My Hair," because it's like the things I found in there. You're like. I don't even use bobby pins. Like, where did this bobby pin come from? Like, what? Yeah. So that's another aside.
One time, Julie, my stylist that was at the show with us, she shook her head and an acorn fell out. We're like, what?
Where'd you get an acorn?
I'm not even. That's not even surprising.
Like, got a lot of hair.
All the things.
Oh boy. So I've got a number of questions. People that were buying your Jessicurl products at Sally's and they're not at their Sally's anymore. What's going on? What's going on with that deal? And where would you guide those people to?
So the deal with Sally's is that they took 3 products and they put them in a limited number of stores. So it was never the entire line and it was never all of Sally's.
Yeah.
And so it didn't work out very well for that reason. It was 1 fragrance, 3 products, limited stores, and then not a whole bunch of education. Like we did what we could with education, but how important that is. So for the people who found it there or wish they could still buy there, we have a great store locator link on our website. So I would first go there.
Is that on jessicurl.com? They can find that?
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. Because there could be somewhere else in your area that has it and has more of it, more than just the 3 that Sally's had. Yeah. And then if not, then our website is a great place to get it. I will be super upfront and I know, and we know shipping, obviously, and you guys know too, like shipping costs are just the pain point for every small business. And
it's outrageous.
Where our factory is located in Northern California is very remote, and that, we don't charge. So like, let me just get this out front, because in case this question comes up later, we don't upcharge our shipping costs. We don't add a handling fee. Like, we charge exactly what it costs. And unfortunately, it costs because it's far away, and just shipping costs have gone up. So I did see question about Amazon. So our products have, to my knowledge, and I'm pretty sure we would know, and I don't know why I just don't think we're big enough yet to have been counterfeited. So you can trust who you find on Amazon.
Sure.
So that is real Jessicurl products. So if you have Amazon Prime and you find it, go for it. That's real. Yeah. So
you don't actually have an Amazon account that you're
or you
selling?
don't have an Amazon store?
Not yet.
Okay. Are you thinking about doing it?
We're thinking about it.
Yeah, we've been thinking about it.
So many things to think about.
We've been thinking about it too. Yeah. It's tough. It's and you know, and you know as well as I do. I mean, what it boils down to is the chunk that Amazon takes. It's because you still got to make money. It's been a real struggle. I mean. Yeah, and I know,
and we don't want to upset our salon accounts, and we, I mean, there's so many things.
There's so many different things to be, concerned about, and that kind of what we came up with on our end is we said, okay, what really is our ultimate goal? And our ultimate goal was to get our products into as many people's hands as possible. Yeah. And we're like, how do we do that? And still, still make money so we can produce product and make more. And we did. We just looked at, because we were probably right about the same time that you were approached by Sally's.
Right.
We had a connection as well, very high up to the top position. And I thought about it, and I thought, man, I'm like, I don't know if this is really. Retail's changing. It just is. It's just changing.
Yeah, always.
And I had to look at it, and I thought, okay, I can lower the price of my product, and instead of giving it to to a retailer, let's just say Sally's or whoever else would want us, I can pass that on to the consumer, and and then just try to fight, play the shipping game, which we just talked about, and it's so far every year I see that was the right move.
It's so hard to know, and like what I want people to understand too is like you're paying the shipping wherever you buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know I forget that too, but it's like whether you buy it on the store shelf or on Amazon or from the manufacturer's website, like you're paying that somewhere, and it just doesn't always say shipping. And that part is really hard to get over for me too. Yeah. Like I am like Little Miss Amazon. So like I buy a lot of stuff on Amazon.
So am I. I have no time to shop. I have no time.
Right. And like it just shows up. Especially now that I live in a place like a metropolis. Right. And so it shows up even faster. But then you go buy something on a website that doesn't offer their products on Amazon, and then you're like shipping, so because that's my reaction. So I'm not saying like that there's anything wrong with that reaction. It's just Amazon has literally changed the psychology of shopping.
The psychology of people in the game.
Totally.
The game. Yeah.
I've had people sitting in my chair that I've talked to about product, and then they literally, I mean, get this, they literally go on Amazon.
They do it while
they're sitting in your chair.
My chair. And they'll order, and they're like, "But there's free shipping on Amazon," and you're like, "Really?"
But it's like, well, you already paid. It's like it is and it's not. You paid the $100. Depending on how much you buy on Amazon,
or whatever.
Yeah, but I'm like, seriously, I'll give you the $5 off for shipping, whatever. That's a different.
Wow. Yeah. It's. I mean, and I've done it not in somebody's chair, but like I've done it where like I go try on the shoes and then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, at least go outside.
I don't like do it in front of the person.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's so hard, and I totally understand when people ask that.
So
it is.
So for you, best idea for people that are looking for your products is go on your website, go to the locator.
Definitely check that out first if you want to buy it in person. Like everybody's different. Yeah. Like if you want to walk into a store and feel it and your hand, like some people still want to do that, and some people want it to show up, and that's why we just are trying to make sure that every option is available, because like literally it's a psychological, everybody has a different preference. Like I don't, like we just had get a bunch of dog stuff, and like I'd rather just get it on Amazon and like not go to 3 different stores and price check it. Like it's probably gonna.
I don't.
Yeah, even though they're all close.
And I'm the dinosaur. I'm the. I love to still go in the stores.
She does. I don't
touch it and feel it. Like
so you want every option. Yeah. I want every option available to all the people, so that in the career, whatever you want, it's there for you.
Right.
Yeah.
But the career that we're all in, I mean, time is our biggest asset. It's the hardest asset to get. And so I'd much rather just shop. So
give your website and spell it.
Yeah, it's Jessicurl.
Perfect.
Jessicurl.
Yeah, just like that. So what are your thoughts on you kind of touched on it. What are your thoughts on curl product counterfeiting? Do you think it's happening? Do you think it's not happening? Do you think the manufacturers that are saying it's happening
that is a great question.
You bet it's a great question. I don't feel
qualified to ask that, to be honest with you. Because I'm not a stylist in a salon, I'm not trying to skirt that question at all. I honestly don't feel like I'm in that realm of this industry close enough to it to know if it's true or not.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't say that somebody who said it's happening is lying, because I don't really know. I'm like, they've been saying that forever. And so I'm sure it sounds plausible. I don't think it's happening to our products, is what I say, because
well, I know it's not happening in ours because it's way too.
Like
our stuff's it's so hard for us to make. I don't know how anybody can copy it. If you can copy it, I'm hiring you.
Straining those flaxseeds.
No, don't try to compete with me. I'll hire you if you can figure out how to make my stuff consistently.
Faster and easier.
Faster and easier. I'm in.
Right. That's kind of like, people exactly. Like, so I know it. Yeah, I know it's not happening to us. Was it? I think that like in the example that was always given over the years was Paul Mitchell. I don't know why. Maybe that's what happened first, but. Yeah. I don't know if that's happening now. Everything is so different than it was 20 years ago. Yeah. There wasn't like Target products, so I don't know. I honestly, I don't feel qualified to answer that. Yeah. I feel like a politician or something. I don't feel qualified.
Oh, geez.
But that's my honest
Remember,
answer,
it's uncensored show. So are you thinking about any other big box stores, any other big retailers? You considering any of them?
Always will depend on the time and how, what products, when, where, we always are keeping in mind our individual salon accounts, because those are the ones that have really helped us grow. So we really don't want to make them mad, and we really do value them. But then we also...
But they're fickle. They're fickle.
Well, everybody, they're fickle. It's just so hard. It's as you know, it's just so hard to know when the right time to do what. And the end user obviously is the end customer that matters, right?
They're the one that matter.
Right. We want to make sure that they're able to access it. And it is just, so there's nothing, I can honestly tell you there's nothing happening right this second.
Nothing right this second.
Okay. Yeah. And if there was, would I tell you? I don't know, but that's the honest truth, is that there's not right now.
Right. I heard there's a show on cable or something where they bring in guests like this, but they get them drunk. And then
oh my God!
That's what we should have done.
Yeah, get the Irish girl drunk and then ask
that's
her
what we're going to do. Because where we are in Naples, there's a lot of people in the winter from all over the country come here on vacation.
God.
So that's what I've been reaching out to, is people that I know in the industry, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring them here and let's have some drinks and tape a show.
Can you imagine? Oh my God! I would have to be very careful.
Right.
Right. I don't know. Those are just always those hard questions to ask for your own company. And every year it would be a different answer depending on where you are and what you're trying to do.
That's how it was for us the first few years is, when we originally started, we said we're going to go salon only, and that's it. And that's all. And those are the people we want to. And then we saw the, I call it fickleness. I don't know if that's a fair word, but but it's I call it the shiny object syndrome. Is you've got the big distributors that are in the salons every day that come in and say, "Hey, I got this new product. I'll give you 6 of them free," and they just take them. If you buy 10, I'll give you 6.
Even knowing.
Right, and the next thing you know, you're gone. And
it's
not
we
because you did anything
hard.
wrong or because and we as smaller guys work so hard. And we, after doing that for a couple of years, we realized,
you're just like,
we're not going to survive at this rate. We're just not. And so we did that, and we told all the salons that, that bought from us, said, hey, this is what we're going to have to do. You guys know what we've been doing from the start, and you either see our vision or you don't. It's just, we have no choice. And what's really funny is I only think at that point we lost like 2.
Right. Sometimes
else is like,
they think they'll be more upset than they are, because it's like, well, they're selling it. Yeah, it's hard because we really do. I mean, we know our salon customers, and as I'm sure you do too, like by name, and so like they become friends, and then it's hard. Right. It's just
but everybody's got to eat. Everybody's got to eat. It's tough.
Yeah.
You're
right. It's an interesting conundrum each time it comes up.
It is. Okay, let's go through some other questions. Jessie, please explain the result differences of Spiralicious gel versus Confident Coils versus Rockin' Ringlets, and what hair types are best for which product.
Okay, I am perfectly able to answer that.
Okay,
sorry.
Go ahead.
There's more to it. It sounds like. Is there more?
I'll just read it and you decide if this matters. I have high porosity hair that is fine, especially at the root. It almost lays flat and straight, but curly, and I want an enhancer for a tighter curl pattern. Also, do your products work best on soaking wet hair or dry hair? Yes.
Okay, so I'll answer the last part first. Always, always, always soaking wet hair. Always. And I would venture to go on a limb here and say no matter what products you're using, soaking wet hair is the best. Because if you think, part of what you're trying to do is reduce frizz, I'm going to assume, and you've never seen wet hair frizzy, right? So if you get the products in there when it's least likely to frizz, you're going to keep frizz from coming later in the day.
Sure.
So that's just, but for our products, absolutely soaking wet hair. So if you go to our website, Jessicurl.com, we have product demo videos on there, and they show you, and there's a bunch of them, but all of them reiterate and beat you over the head with that. It's like beating dead horses on Groundhog Day.
Right. I get it.
Is it you in the video?
Oh yeah. Okay. So it's me doing several different people's hair of different hair types with different product combinations.
Cool.
But all of it starts out on soaking wet hair. So, and like, I mean that so literally that I keep my styling products in the shower. And so the minute that shower gets turned off, I'm applying my products. I don't wring it out, nothing.
And I agree with you. I do agree with you. We also teach the same thing, to use the soaking wet hair.
Yeah. So difference between the three.
Yeah. So Rockin' Ringlets is a curl enhancer. Okay. So it's like boosting, like boingy. And then Confident Coils and Spiralicious are both definers. So, and they create separation. So you'll either use Confident Coils or Spiralicious, and you'll use them with Rockin' Ringlets.
What's the hold factor? What's the hold factor on?
So the difference is Spiralicious has more hold and Confident Coils has less hold.
Okay.
And Spiralicious is way better for humidity control. So if you're in a high humid environment, Spiralicious definitely. So now this question writer has fine hair, so I'm going to throw a curveball at
high
you.
Porosity.
I'm going to throw a curveball at you and tell you, instead of Rockin' Ringlets, I would say gelibration spray is probably a better idea, because it's literally the exact same ingredients as Rockin' Ringlets. So a more appropriate name would probably just be Rockin' Ringlets Light.
Right.
So it's basically the same thing, just a lighter formula for people with fine hair that gets weighed down easily, but it's still curl enhancing, like boosting.
Sure.
But it just, if you really have hair that you would describe as fine, like, you look at it for too long and it gets weighed down, as I kind of say, gelibration spray would be better for the boing. So like it'd be Rockin' Ringlets or gelibration, and then Confident Coils or Spiralicious, if that makes sense. I know it's like
No, that
sounds kind of confusing, but
no, it makes sense.
Especially at the roots, because then you can, you know, with gelibration, like you could spray it at the roots and you can target it better.
Yeah.
And then also, as we always show, and I don't know how long your hair is, but rinsing upside down and then applying products upside down helps get root lift because you're upside down.
You're upside down, right? Gravity, that whole gravity thing.
You don't have to stay upside down all day.
Well, I've got two people ask a related question right after that, and they're both literally asking the same thing.
I want to go back to that because
that's
not something that we've taught. So you're teaching people to actually rinse, like their final rinse, like the conditioner out of their hair upside down?
Yeah. Yeah. And so that is demonstrated in the videos on our website too. And it's not as awkward and clunky as it sounds. You know, it sounds, I mean, I've gotten people asking like, well, don't you get product on your feet and all this stuff? Well, no, like I've never done that.
Well, you can rinse your feet off.
Right, yeah, because you're literally in the shower.
You're in the shower.
Right. So it's like you just rinse the mess away. If you know, like, so yeah, you apply the products upside down. So yeah, it might drip on the shower floor, but rinse it away. And so like you rake the first couple little bits through to like you create that separation of the curls, and then scrunch the next couple up. And so you're starting to squeeze out the first amounts of water while you're also creating those curls and defining it. So, and then you incorporate your microfiber towel or your t-shirt or whatever it is that's not terry cloth.
Sure.
Got it.
Very passionate about that, clearly.
Absolutely.
That's cool. I'm going to try that. Oh, I washed my hair today, so next time.
It works. Yeah, it helps. It really works a lot. And then you just obviously have to do the like super dramatic 70s hair flip.
Ooh, right. It's like Elle Macpherson from Legally Blonde.
Totally.
The bend and snap.
Right.
Not awkward at all. But yeah, it totally works.
I don't smack my head.
Oh, gosh.
I know. Totally.
Well, these two people ask a related question right after, and the one says, I love what Rockin' Ringlets does for my hair on wash day. However, I have not been able to refresh with Rockin' Ringlets in my hair. Other product combos I can get 4 to 5 days. With Rockin' Ringlets, things just sort of go flat. Do you have any suggestions on how to refresh when using Rockin' Ringlets?
Yes, I do. First of all, thank you for loving it 5 times or however many times you said. I think it was 5.
Yeah, 4 or 5. Yep.
And then, so I don't know if you're using another product with it for more hold, because Rockin' Ringlets really doesn't have a lot of hold. It's really, I would define it as like a very light hold, but again, for that boost. So you would want to use another gel or Spiralicious, because like I say this one a lot, but you're never going to forget it now. Together, Rockin' Ringlets and Spiralicious are like a bra. Lift and separate.
Right.
I was kind of laughing because every time you say give it a boost, it looks kind of
and then like Spiralicious defines it and separates it. So if you're not, and we're happy to send you samples. So if that
was literally next question.
Right, yeah. So we can get to that like technically, but so
are they free or not free?
Well, we charge shipping. So yeah, if we can send you, you can go to the website and find the samples page. But like, if this woman was like, lady, I already put money into your products. Like, if you write to customer service at jessicurl.com,
sure,
and say I talked to Jess on the podcast. Our wonderful, I call her my customer service woman extraordinaire. That's her official title. Carmen.
You're lucky.
We're looking for one of those.
She's amazing. Carmen will send you a sample of combined coils that you can try with it. Because they really work best together. So, but then where I'm going with that is then we do have a refresher spray too. Now it just sounds like I'm trying to sell you more stuff, but
that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, we do have a with that. Yeah, so we have, it's called Awe and Spiraling, And those are the puppies are playing. They've just been playing the whole time. But if you hear a weird noise, that's my dog. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Sure. Blame it on the dog.
Blame it on the dog.
I know. Hey, Winnie. So we have one called On Spiraling, and it has no hold to it on its own, but it helps rejuvenate the products that you already have in there that have hold. And so what I do when I use it, like for whatever reason, my hair doesn't like having stuff sprayed at it, but I put a little tiny bit of Spiralicious in my palm, spray it in there, rub it, and then scrunch it. And then that helps. And then like flip over, kind of fluff the roots up, and then like do that dramatic flip back thing again. And then that helps. And then also like how you sleep really can help how your hair is going to do on day 2, 3, 4, 5. So like a pineapple, if you know what that is, it's really hard to describe, but you can Google that. There's all over. A satin pillowcase, there's certain different, all kinds of accoutrements that you can buy to put your hair up in. None of them attractive whatsoever.
Are you still doing the nylon stocking?
No, because that was to flatten it out. Like if I'm gonna try, my hair hates second day, so if I even try to do it, I have to like do the plopping thing into something overnight, and it's just gigantic. Or I'll like wash it and style it at night, and then like not scrunch out the crunch when it gets crunchy, and then they call it sleeping pretty, or like where you fan your hair out all over the pillow and then just hope you don't move.
That would work for me.
Like it never works. Like sleep with one eye open and then scrunch it in the morning, or I'm not good with second day hair.
Really. So you're not. I always call it for me a modified pineapple, because obviously our hair is too long to pineapple.
Right.
So I do a modified version where I kind of pull it halfway through like a pineapple, and then I wrap it around like you would a bun, and then just put a little clip in there, and that seems to work well for me. I can actually get second and third day curls. By fourth day, and I usually have to braid it or put it in a bun, just more because I don't like it. I feel dirty.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I just wanted to be as curly. Like the only option, if I like go upside down and like take a tie of some sort, like I don't like, it ruins it for me to like put a rubber band around it. But if I like tie something and then maybe.
Okay.
But it doesn't work very well. But I also have very high standards for myself. So it probably looks fine.
To everybody else, right?
Right. I have to remember that.
Yes.
It's probably fine.
Right.
But
here, I'll rattle through a couple more here, and I think some of these might be redundant questions, so if they are, just tell me. I think just because they might be worded differently. But we'll start with this one. Is Jessicurl products considered a professional salon product or a retail product? That's a good question.
I know. Question. And to be honest, I'm not even sure what defines a salon product. We're sold in salons, so yes.
Right.
Like, is there there's no gogoverning body, to be honest with you.
Everything is in the last 5-6 years. It's so changed.
Different. As we were saying before, it's so different than the olden days.
Yeah.
Like,
it used to
everything.
be that there would be salon exclusive products, and then they weren't sold anywhere else. But now you can't find hardly any that meet those standards.
Well, that whole L'Oreal lawsuit is what changed the game for that. That whole L'Oreal lawsuit, because they got sued for that. And that's what kind of changed it. And everybody was like, okay, forget it. We'll sell it. And if you want it in the salon, you can have it.
Yeah.
Sorry, my whole little setup here just fell over a little.
Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. Is DCT and Touche really the same formula, but with protein in Touche?
No, because deep treatment doesn't have shea butter. If I'm remembering, sorry, I don't have them in front of me, but I saw that question, and they're not the same formula. And the oat flour really isn't a protein. Like you really need to not consider that a protein in the sense where we all are afraid of protein, like it dries our hair out. So no, they are not the same formula. I wish I had them right here and I could just show you in my hand. Like the consistencies are so different. And deep treatment is so much thicker. And so no, they're not at all.
Well, oats can be, I think of oats as like a soothing ingredient, you know, like an oatmeal bath, you know, soothing for rashes and things like that. So maybe that was the purpose of, you know, if you're...
Well, it's a thickener.
A thickener,
so,
okay.
Yeah, and it's not used in a very high percentage. So it's not, and it's definitely not the protein. Like I'm sure, I don't want to assume, but I'm pretty sure the way that you're asking, like how we avoid protein, like the plague for our hair, unless sometimes you need a little bit, but
yeah.
So the quick answer is no. They're not the same formula.
Quick answer is no.
Yeah, even though, and I'm sure, I'm pretty sure probably why people think that is because the first tons of ingredients in both of them are the same, because it's all these herbs that we use to make what we call our hair tea.
Yep.
You know, so all the first bunch of ingredients are the same because we just make the hair tea because all that stuff's so good for your hair and your scalp, and then the rest of the ingredients they share some similarities, but in totally different quantities. So
I get that. Yeah.
Exactly the same, only different. No, not exactly the same.
Well, because a lot of times we have the same, you know, once it took us so many years to figure our product out to be so, you know, wonderful. And so once we had that base, then you can just work off of that.
That was so much the key was getting that base figured out. Everything else after that, I mean, our products came out boom, boom, boom right after that. It was so easier. Figuring the base out's the hard part.
Yeah.
So do you have any new products on the horizon? Anything you're playing with in the lab? Anything you want to throw at us? I'll tell you if you tell me. I'll show you mine if you show me yours. I'll tell you.
That could just be a yes and no question.
Right? I know, right?
Right.
There's not much I can talk about. How about that?
Not much you can talk about? Not really thinking about anything, huh? We're thinking about one,
we have a couple of new things,
but we're thinking about one, and I'll bring it up to you, and just because I want to know if you've thought about this.
Oh, cool.
And there's a reason that I've thought about this, and I'm wondering if you guys see the same thing that we do. Is we see a lot of people that go from the real, you know, low end drugstore products. They start to embrace their curls, and then they see them getting better, so they start looking at better ingredient quality brands like yours and ours, and the cast of characters,
right.
And one of the things that I think is a problem, not that I know it's a problem and I see it, is the fact that they'll, without doing a whole lot of research, they'll buy a bunch of ours or yours or whoever else's, and they don't realize they need to clarify because they got a whole lot of crap to get off. So we've been really thinking about, do we put together a starter package that's got a clarifying treat in it? What do you think of that idea?
It sounds like an oxymoron to say a gentle clarifier, but
right. But you know what I mean.
Yes.
You thinking maybe the same? Do you see the same kind of thing?
I see that need. Yeah, even if you wouldn't necessarily use it a lot, but like I'll be honest and say the only time I ever cheat on myself is when I color my hair. I use Kenra clarifying shampoo.
Sure.
The night before, because it's the only clarifying shampoo I've ever found, and there might be others, but I haven't found it, that doesn't have sulfates in it. But it lathers up in that way that just gives you heart palpitations because I don't want it to, I don't like lather in that amount.
Yeah.
But when I'm coloring, you just want to make sure you're starting with a clean slate. I had this whole, oh my God. If you have like a whole hour one day, you can read my whole coloring routine. It's craziness. But it starts the day before. Let's just put it that way. Right. But so, yeah, I know there's a need because I need it myself. That's like I say, the only time I cheat on myself.
Yeah, but it's, at the same time, there's the discussion of, okay, so now do we have to educate consumers
on why?
Right. And how deep do you want to get into that? And does that set a tone where are you going to have to educate them on everything? And that's tough. And I don't think a lot of people realize that's tough. Educating is tough.
It's hard to know. Yeah, like we feel, I think that we feel that the average consumer is a lot more knowledgeable than they really are because you and me, and like my staff, we deal with the upper echelon.
Yeah, we're in the game.
You know, like all of like the customers, like our customers are so highly educated about their hair that we think that that's most people, and then it's super duper not. You know what I mean? Like that's a compliment to all of you guys watching this, because like who else is going to sit around and watch this? And like most people, you know what I mean?
For an hour. Oh my God, I don't know how long we've been doing it.
We forget. I forget that, and it's like, oh yeah, no, most people don't.
Yeah. What do you think, Melanie?
Read every single ingredient. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I do think people are more educated these days, and they definitely seek out, a lot more than they used to on their own. They come in, having that knowledge base. It's not always accurate, but, they definitely are more educated, and they're seeking out ingredients or, staying away from sulfate. Nobody would have even known years ago. They've never even heard of sulfates, But, and I've talked about that on other shows. The reason, and you're right, most clarifiers do have sulfates because there was a time and need for them. And it is in a clarifier because what we want to do, the object of a clarifier is to strip all that buildup on the hair. And that's what the sulfates do. So, but some are going to be more gentle or more aggressive than others. Anyway, but
interesting.
And I actually thought of when Jess was talking earlier about educating, we actually went through the same thing, a similar thing you did with Sally's, having our product in a organic market here, where it's really tough when you have a professional product sitting on a shelf and we're not there to educate, because that's what we do in the salons.
Don't know.
Yeah, they don't know. And when you're looking at an $8 product or a $30 product, what are you going to buy? And so they don't understand the difference and the whys and how it's better, or you can differ and how it can benefit them. But so we went through that as well. It just didn't sell good in that store, but we have no problem selling it in our salon because we're sitting there educating.
You're educating on the website, like your website and our website. I mean, people go there, they get educated.
It's
then
they
realize, they're like, okay, this is why I want this.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just getting people to try the products, because like yours and like your customers, they try it, they love it, they continue to buy, they totally get it. It's not, hard. It's just getting them to try it that first time.
Yeah.
And use it.
Yeah. All right. Well, tell us again, Jess, tell everybody how they can look at your products, how they can find them, how they can get samples. Give us a rundown.
Jessicurl.com, Jessicurl, and that's
search around the site, take a look.
So much information overload, but that's really what you need. So you can spend as little or as much time as you want. You can get in and get out pretty quickly if that's all you want to do. We have a handy little chart that very quickly tells you, like, your hair type is this, these are the products that you want, and then we have kits that are made up already, or you can be like me if I were in your position and spend way too much time and watch all the videos, and then we have samples, and that's easily found on the website. So it's good. Again, as little or as much time as you want, depending on your personality.
Well, thanks for coming on. So would you come on again if we asked you to?
Definitely. Yes, super. You guys are awesome. I would love to. Thank you so much. It's awesome that you're doing this. Seriously. Wonderful. Nobody else is doing it. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah. I appreciate that. And I like I said, I thought about it for a long time, and I knew that once we did start doing it, that people would open up and want to come on and want to share, and it's proving it. I can tell just because people like you are responding and saying, "Yeah, I'll come on, sure."
Of course, totally.
It's safe here.
No curl shaming.
No curl shaming here. It's safe.
No.
All right. Well, wonderful.
We want to see your puppies.
Oh yeah. Do you want to show your puppies here?
I only had one.
Well, I did until a week ago, and then the puppy got her own puppy. Does anybody come here?
When I saw you in Chicago, you had just gotten the first puppy.
Yeah, I know. That's right. Come here, little puppies. Okay, this is the new one. Okay, or the old one.
Right.
Okay, this is the one I had when I met you in Chicago. This is Winnie. Hi, Winnie. Hi, Winnie. A lot of people know Winnie. She's so big now. She feels like she weighs 1,000,000 pounds.
I know.
Because now the new one. Come here, JoJo's.
Oh boy.
Come here, JoJo's. Okay, come here. She's 8 weeks old, and then she's so little. Hi, JoJo.
She's
And
wild.
She's
trouble.
so feisty. Yeah,
Oh,
she's trouble.
She's like swimming with her paw. She's gonna get
God,
tangled in
and
your hair.
that's how Winnie was when I first got her.
remember.
I know, and so it's like I'm remembering all these things like that, and like, oh my God, she's grown up so much. But
she's so
she
cute.
wanted her own puppy, so she's real. This is really not my puppy; it's Winnie.
Yeah, she's chewing on your hair.
Yeah. Oh,
you're messing up my hair, JoJo's.
Oh,
yeah, but yeah, so it's been literally a week today, and they've. Yeah, it's
fun.
The first couple days where I was like, "Oh God, maybe Winnie didn't want a puppy."
Yeah,
we went through that too. We went through that with our second
for 3
dog,
years.
where I literally was going to take the dog back. I tried to take her back to the breeder.
Yeah,
I drove
he put her for sale. I think
100 miles. I drove the dog.
Oh God!
I was going to say you put her on Amazon, but you didn't. You put her on Craigslist. I remind her.
It was on Prime, free shipping.
Yeah, all right.
But she got better. But actually, a couple weeks later, she got better.
Not a
this has been a super fast improvement. Now they're just buddies. They just play and wrestle, and it's awesome.
Sweet.
Like,
Is she what kind?
fostered.
What kind?
She's a spaniel mix. So she was fostered.
Cute.
So the foster mom had her for a month. So with rescues, you kind of don't know. And Winnie's a Papillon and Terrier mix. Yeah, now they're like totally
I could see the
playing.
Papillon in her. Yeah, for sure.
It's so cute.
That's awesome.
Well, congratulations,
Potty
Mom.
training's always fun, but it'll be cool. And it's you guys.
Right.
God.
Well, it was so good to see you and talk to you.
Yeah, it was so good to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Glad things are going well.
Yeah, glad things are
Yeah,
going
you
well.
too. And I'll see you on the internet.
Sounds good.
And
Yeah,
at a
we'll
show
stay in
again
touch.
someday.
Yeah, we'll bring you on the next time. And
if you're in the area, come get a haircut.
Yeah,
I will.
Come down to Naples and meet us.
All right, cool.
If we're in the area, I always travel with scissors.
Right, she always
travels. Yeah, if you come here, let me know.
I will.
We will. We'll do that.
Fun.
Yeah, we're gonna do some traveling in the spring and summer. I'll keep you posted on that.
Oh,
that's
cool.
That's kind of a secret coming up too. We'll talk more about it later.
Cool. Okay.
All right, let's wrap it up. All right, Jess, we'll see you. Thanks.
Bye.
Appreciate it.
Talk to you later.
And
Bye.
well, great. That was fun. And hope you guys really like that. If you got any comments, leave them in the comment section below. What you thought, what was good, what was not. We appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next time.